Greetings, you dudes. Welcome to the inaugural Random as Fuck Awards remake. We did this video a while back. As a matter of fact, we shot like 10 hours of random as fuck shit. Um, but then I bought this new camera, so, you know, doing tests and stuff. So we're redoing it. We're redoing the whole thing. And I'm running, just, FYI, I'm running a side test here, too, and recording the audio simultaneously into the camera and into the Tascam X8 so that I could do a little flippy flip and you'll hear whichever one is better, and maybe I'll put a little lower third, do 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 do, and let you know which one I went with. Let you know which one I went with. Or maybe I'll do a in camera and now X8. Let you judge for yourself. How about I? And then I'll go back to the one I so choose. Baby, that is just what I do. That is just what I do. That is just what I do. But that's not just what I do. That's like saying that I'm just an asshole. But I got arms and legs and everything. You're grounded, mister. You are grounded. Hamburgers. Oh, hamburgers. Hamburgers. So, first random as fuck category is best weed. Best weed ever. And I'm actually going to break that category up into two subcategories. Ha! Uh, Best flower I've ever had was some shit called Mindfuck. I don't even remember how the taste was because this was like, I want to say like around 93, 94-ish, maybe 95. Um, Whew, man, that I had one half quarter. I think that thing lasted me for like 3 months or something. I mean, like we literally would take one hit off of it, and every night, and it just stayed stoned fucking forever because anything more than one hit was a waste. But you know, my homeboys they hit it with us underneath of my back porch, and rode their bikes down to the intersection down the street from my house as they was leaving. Fall right off the fucking bikes, man. That shit was great. Good shit. That shit had to have been every bit of 30%. Um, Best overall and best concentrate I've ever had. When you start talking about concentrates, you get into that upper echelon, past that 30-ish% limit, with flour. And percentage matters less and less. And, once you really start getting into wax and rosin and bada, all of that shatta, um, it almost just doesn't matter at all because I've had, well, I'll go ahead and say my winner, though my winner was Super Lemon Haze. You know, that Super Lemon Haze both kicked me in the dick, in a good way. It kicked me in the gravy, as they say. Um, but the taste was fucking out of this world. And the thing is, though, the reason I'm getting into all that shit about percentages is because the highest percentage concentrates that I've had, or at least that I know was this high, was the Skywalker OG shatter that I got in, I think it was November of 2019. That was like the first concentrates I ever bought. And that shit was like 92%. Um, But I don't think that shit got me any higher than than the Super Lemon Haze. And the Super Lemon Haze, I think, was maybe like around 60%. Um, because again, when you get into that upper echelon of percentages, uh, you know, it doesn't matter anymore. At that point, it's all about the terpenes. It's all about the terpenes, the tastes, and the way that those terpenes give you the different kinds of feels. Uh, so Super Lemon Haze for the win. Congratulations. The next random as fuck award is for adults only. Mm. The best sex toy. Again, I mean, subjective, obviously, but the handy. I've had a few. I've had a bunch of the different fleshlights, and I had the Kiru Onyx Plus for a while, and I've had some knockoff like automated or automatic units. I got the what's it called? Not the auto blow. Fuck the Blowy Pro, and the Blowy Pro is nice. It's cool. I do really like the climax function and on it, um, but it's there's no speed control. There's no fucking speeds on that shit. It's just like one speed, and there's no build, and it's not all that. I mean, it does the job. It does the fucking job. But um, the handy, on the other hand, the fleshlight launch was fucking great, except for two major things. Well, actually, I'm gonna say a few. Yeah, two major things. We'll say is that it was delicate. Um, the parts, the motor and stuff inside was really fucking delicate and broke easy as shit. And it was too big and bulky and heavy. You know, it's like it's a two-handed operation essentially, and ain't nobody got time for that. I need my other hands for like snacks and stuff. Preferably I'd like to have something hands free. Um, but the handy has been fucking great, and I will quit this category now because I know most of y'all is probably don't want to hear about it. The most appropriately named music album. It was actually, this is kind of a trick because it wasn't an album, it was an EP. Um, and it's actually not just appropriately named, the cover art and the sound of it, everything was Jar of Flies by Alice in Chains. I can't explain that shit, but it's just something about that nectar sound of Jar of Flies, if that makes sense. Jar of Flies was an awesome fucking album. Or EP, whatever. Jar of Flies was awesome. I know Gerard probably wants to hear some movie takes. Uh, so, I got you. I got you. Um, we'll do a few. Most hated movies, or most hated movie that I thought was fucking brilliant. And honestly, one of the best movies or horror movies of the modern era goes to the Babadook. The fucking Babadook, man. I know. Slow down. I know, I get it. I get it. The kid was fucking annoying, and you kind of want to hit him with a baseball bat. You're supposed to. Yeah, it builds your, you know, it plays on your empathy for the mother. so that when the mother, goes the way that she starts going later in the movie, it's that more impactful because you're like, hold on, lady, hold the fuck on. But at the same time, you feel her. You get it. Um, that's what it's supposed to do. That movie was so fucking brilliant, and it's such a fucking, like, I guess, sort of statement piece. At least I see it that way, for a lot of different things centered around the subject of grief and not facing, you know, your demons, your problems, your issues, things that you throw into the back of the closet for, you know, nobody to see. Um, the Babadook was fucking great, baby. The Babadook was fucking great. Um, best, um, best worst, I guess, or best poorly received um, sci-fi horror flick from the 80s. I'm gonna go with The Keep, because you know I, I'm not alone in saying that I wish I could see Michael Mann's full 3 hour director's cut. Um, but the studio cut it down to, what was it, like an hour and 20 minutes or something, behind his back, without any of his creative input or anything, and he don't want nothing to do with it to this very fucking day. And to be fair, F. Paul Wilson also said that it was visually stunning and an incoherent mess, story wise. And yeah, it does. In parts, it feels like the story is just kind of all over the place and like, huh? Um, but it comes to, if you know the overarching story at least a little bit, you understand what's going on. It makes sense, and I think that there was enough in the movie to make sense of it, so that sort of what's going on. But it doesn't do a very good job explaining it. And that was probably in some of that cut footage from the 3 hour director's cut. I am assuming. I am assuming. And I know what happens sometimes when you assume. You make an answer, you and me. Yada be, bada bing, bada boom, how do you doom? Um, but yeah, you know, I can't say enough about The Keep. Good about The Keep. The Keep was a fun fucking movie. Um, that you get fucked up and you trip out on. And I don't fully agree with what um, F. Paul Wilson said about it being an incoherent mess. I could see how it could be incoherent for a lot of people. Um, but, the visuals in that movie, it was visually stunning. And, I didn't even mention, well, I don't want to say the best part, but, like, I guess the icing on the cake is that soundtrack by Tangerine Dream. You know, those dudes are fucking awesome, baby. It is awesome. The soundtrack for The Keep, or the score, whatever you want to call that, um, is number one, or whatever. It's great. It is gravy, baby, as it says in the good book. It's all gravy, baby. Best horror movie from my childhood. Best horror movie from my childhood. I can't say The Keep on that because, you know, I didn't discover The Keep until, was it, like, I think 2015 or something like that. Um, but this one is, again, I'm going to kind of have to, like, sort of sub it or cut it and then go into another one. Anyway, in retrospect, the best. Well, actually, you know what? I'm gonna save that because I'm sorry. I'm gonna give that a whole other category. I'll do that immediately after. Um, my most favorite, most favorite horror movie of my childhood. Fuck it, I'm leaving it in. I'm not redoing it. Uh, it's Friday the 13th Part Three. Um, Friday the 13th 4, the final chapter, I think was the best executed movie in the entire series, the entire franchise. Even better than the first one with Betsy Palmer, you know. And part two, those first four, and even the fifth, Friday the 13th movies were, what was it, the Paramount Friday the 13th movies, man. They were fucking great. But I think four, the final chapter, was the best done movie of the franchise. But, part three is my favorite because, uh, it's those nostalgic memories of, sitting down on Poppy's floor with cousin Chris, watching Friday the 13th Part 3 and fucking Nightmare on Elm Street on a loop, which leads me into the next category that I was going to include as part of this category. Now you can see why I'm, changing my own unwritten, undecided on rules because the best. Actually, no. I was going to say the best horror movie of my childhood, but honestly, I think probably maybe even the best movie of the 1980s. Um, and maybe even, definitely the best horror movie of the 80s, maybe the best movie of the 80s, and arguably, you know, maybe the best one since, was the Nightmare on Elm Street. The Nightmare on Elm Street was executed fucking flawlessly, uh, you know, because I don't know of anything like Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger, you know, before Nightmare on Elm Street. I can't say the same thing about Chucky or, like the original thing I thought with Chucky was being you know, like a doll that was possessed by like a serial killer. But we had possessed and enchanted whatever dolls. The earliest one I know of was the Talkie Tina from the Twilight Zone. Anyway, I digress. Uh, I don't know of anything that was like Nightmare on Elm Street before Nightmare on Elm Street. The innovation that they came up with, to pull off some of those scenes, like the way that they built that room on the rotating thing, so that they could have the blood flowing and coming up from the bed, turn the room upside down, have the blood pour out, uh, so that the bed is up on the top, and then play it in reverse, and flip it. But man, and the acting, I mean, nobody. I don't think anybody is gonna write something down in the comments and be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Robert Englund's performance in Nightmare on Elm Street was terrible. Because it definitely wasn't. It was, you know, them allowing, you know, Robert Englund to improvise and bring in those like one-liners and shit. I think I am like leaning forward and getting like out of focus, Alamagocus, um, hocus pocus, uh, you know. But the acting, I mean, Johnny Depp, that was Johnny Depp's debut, I do believe. Uh, the acting was fucking great. The storyboarding was fucking great. The special effects, the innovation, all of that shit was great. The score was great. The, editing was fucking great. Um, it was a textbook way to start a horror franchise, or I'll just say to make a horror movie. Those first two rules of show business. You open with a bang, you close with a bang, and in horror movie, kind of one of the unwritten things is, especially if it's the first movie in a franchise, in a series of movies, always set up for the sequel. And generally, you give the audience the happy ending that they expect, and then pull it away from them at the very last second, fade to black, roll credits. And that's exactly what they did with Nightmare on Elm Street. They executed it flawlessly. Um, and with that, I'm going to give actually a similar award to, what was it? I guess the 2000s, to Rob Zombie for that same reason, for House of a Thousand Corpses. Uh, the originality isn't, you know, or I guess as original, whatever, as Nightmare on Elm Street, man. But the House of a Thousand Corpses was fucking great. Once again, clinic on how to, make a horror movie. You open with a bang at the Captain Spaulding's Chicken Shack, and you close with a bang. Yeah, I'll get you to a doctor. Dr. Satan. Well, I'm giving like the Selma signs and shit. Dr. Satan. Um, but the uh, yeah, House of a Thousand, the score, everything with House of a Thousand Corpses was awesome. You could definitely see that the Texas Chainsaw influence. It's like fucking blatant, blatant as fuck. And that's cool. That's cool because that's what art is. Art imitates art, and that's gravy, baby. That's what art is supposed to do. Uh, and let's see, what other awards can we give at? How about the only movie, or just about, I think, the only movie to ever make. Well, no, actually, well, no, I take that back. I was going to say the only movie to ever make me feel like I wasted my time watching that fucking movie was the zombie apocalypse. That's just bullshit, man. That was not B movies being fun. That was B movies being, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you even doing? Uh, right there, it's like watching paint wet or something, But I was gonna say there is a second one attached to that. Well, I mean, a completely different movie, but and I know a few people are gonna give me an argument probably for this one, but the fucking Blair Witch Project. Keep in mind, I went to see Blair Witch Project in the fucking theater the day that it opened, um, before they came out and admitted that that they made the whole shit up. Um, so I like literally went into the movie theater expecting this to like genuinely be lost. What do you call it? Found footage or whatever. Uh, you know, and I knew like within 15, 20 minutes easy, like, no, this is bullshit. That is, I will give that movie the award of the first movie to ever make me not mind having to get up and use the fucking bathroom in the middle of a movie at the theaters. I was happy to get up in the middle of that movie and go use the fucking bathroom, man. Fuck you, Blair Witch. Fuck you. And also, maybe the only movie to have ever had a sequel that was 100 times better than the original fucking movie. I mean, don't get me wrong, the sequel wasn't great. The sequel wasn't great, but it was 100 times better than the original. I will fucking fight you. I mean, not really, but I'm saying. Biggest grifter of the modern era, or, at least the 2020s, or, the late 2010s, is Donald J. Trump. Fuck you. Just keep that one short and simple. Fuck you. I see you. We see you. You can't fool all of us. Most racist person in the world is me, because NASCAR is a fucking joke, man. NASCAR is the fucking stupidity of the fucking world. Fuck you, NASCAR. Not really. I'm playing. I'm playing. I don't like NASCAR though, so I mean, I kind of am a racist. But if you like NASCAR, it's cool. It's cool. I'm a cool racist. How about the best of my music videos so far? Um, I might say, I don't know. I might say the Reanimator one, uh, the King Diamond one. That was I mean, probably for most people, that probably felt like a weird pick for songs from King Diamond to use. But I thought it fit really, really well. Um, I thought that Reanimator video was fucking fun. Uh, well, I mean, they all are. Um, most down to earth celebrity that I've met, most. Keep in mind that I am, I mean, I'm kind of biased when I say this, but most downest to earth, or whatever you want to call it, celebrity that I've ever met. Uh, that goes to the Statler brothers. Uh, all of them. Because growing up in Stanton, and, you know, like you would see celebrities sometimes like going places like Charlottesville or Richmond, but anytime like you do, like it would be like the time we saw fucking Sissy Spacek out in Charlottesville, and she's out with the sundress, or the like scarf over her head and the sunglasses, and like three bodyguards around her walking through fucking Costco, or I think back then it was Sam's Club or something, but you go to Stanton and you see Harold or Jimmy or one of the guys out in town, they're shopping at Kroger's, and well, back in the day, Ames and Zayre at the Stanton Mall, at King's Daughters Hospital, um, riding around town in the pickup trucks. No bodyguards, nothing. When I was a kid, I did not understand how fucking famous the Statler brothers were. You know, they were just some dudes from Stanton. you know, and I can honestly say, I've met a few celebrities. Uh, you know, I've met. Well, I don't. I guess George Harris does count, even though he's not. Most of you are probably not going to know who George Two Ton Harris is. But he was a really, really great dude, though. He was a really fucking great dude. Um, as a matter of fact, I might give George the award for the best human that I've ever met. George was that good of a dude. We used to sit on the shuttle bus. He was driving the shuttle bus at Woodrow Wilson Rehab in was it Fishersville, between Stanton and Waynesboro, and I would go out there and between classes and stuff, or have time to kill waiting for mom to get off of work, and ride the shuttle bus around with George. and talking about wrestling and stuff. Because if you don't know who George Two Ton Harris was, he was a professional wrestler. He was a heel, I think, in like the '60s and early '70s, but he was mostly like a jobber. And then when he got hurt, he started managing uh, and stuff, and he did that for a long time until he fucking finally retired from wrestling, and then he started, got to the Woodrow Wilson, and you know, I absolutely adored or cherished every single trip on that shuttle bus with George because I was all about some wrestling back in the day. And, here was a guy who actually wrestled and had all these cool wrestling stories to talk about, and, was always watching the shows and stuff. George was a really great dude. And the Statler brothers, too. Um, Statler brothers were obviously different kind of celebrity, but the Statler brothers were good people. They used to, if you don't know the history of the Statler brothers, they used to put on a free show at Gypsy Hill Park every 4th of July. And they would bring in big stars as guests and everything. You would have cars lined up like for miles outside, at least it felt like miles outside of Gypsy Hill Park. And it would be every fucking road. Spring Hill Road would be covered in cars. Selma Boulevard covered in cars. Up the what's the name of that road? Up Reservoir Hill by the old Lehigh. Full of cars. People was parking all the way up on top of Reservoir Hill, and Reservoir Hill goes like maybe 100 yards at an angle like that, like straight up the fucking hill. And the people was like, I mean, not literally, straight up like that, but it felt like it sometimes because I used to walk that hill a lot. But people would park all the way up at the top of there, to come down to the parade and the carnival and then watch the Statler brothers play for free in their hometown on the 4th of July. You know, it was a pretty good time. And, you know, those dudes did that shit out of the goodness of their hearts. You know, you give it up to them. You got to give it up for that. Again, as a kid, I didn't understand any of that. I was like, why the hell are all of these people coming from as far out as fucking California and Hawaii and even Alaska just to see the Statler brothers? You know? As I got older, I started realizing, oh my God, these dudes were like internationally fucking famous. And, you know, good memories. I will talk shit on the city of Stanton to the day that I die because there's some secrets and some motherfucking things, stories, things that I could tell you about the fucking city of Stanton. Um, but in all of those complaints, not a single one of them, or grievances, whatever you want to call them, not one of them has anything to do with the Statlers. The Statler brothers were fucking great. Harold used to be one of the assistant coaches on the Little League baseball teams with Kiwanis Club. I'm gonna shut up about it now, but I'm saying, great fucking people. And that being said, turn the radio on and listen to the music in the air. Hello, Mary Lou. Goodbye, heart. I'm sorry, I'm terrible at that. I am terrible. I want to say the worst city to grow up in is Stanton, But I can't really say that because I mean, I didn't grow up anywhere else, so I can't really say. And it's not like big city problems. Stanton. I think Stanton, when I lived there, was like maybe around 25,000, 30,000 people. Um, it's not like big city. It's about as small of a city as you can really get. I mean, you can have a smaller population and still be a city, but not by a whole lot. Um, versus the city. I was living in when I was doing before I moved here. Um, that was around I think 65,000 people. Um, but even Virginia's biggest cities um, are dwarfed by like actual big cities like New York or Atlanta, or L.A. I think I might be wrong about this, but and keep in mind that I haven't looked at the census in probably like 15, 20 years. But the last census I think I looked at, I think Virginia Beach was like around 150,000 people, and Richmond was like around 90 to 100,000 people. I might be wrong about that. I might be. I might have misread that shit, but uh, you know, it's not the was it like 3 4 million or whatever people in New York. You know what, I am going to, because I am such a nice dude, I am going to fact check myself. I am going to fact check myself. How about that? How about that? Uh-huh. I forgot what I was going to ask you. I didn't get that. Could you try again? What is the population of Richmond, Virginia? As of 2020, the population of Richmond was, okay, 226,610. So that's more than I thought it was. Still, still dwarfed by New York, Atlanta. What is the population of Virginia Beach? In 2020, the population of Virginia Beach was 459,470. Yeah, so that grew a little bit too. Uh, Charlottesville, I think, has been shrinking. Let's check that too while we're at it. What is the population of Charlottesville, Virginia? At the 2020 census, the population was 46,553. Now, see, this is from Wikipedia. I remember that in the I think it was the 2000 or whatever census, where Virginia or shit, Charlottesville like was around 75,000. What is the population of Harrisonburg, Virginia? In 2020, the population of Harrisonburg was 51,814. Yeah, so Harrisonburg outgrew Charlottesville, or rather, I guess Charlottesville. Well, Harrisonburg is growing, but Charlottesville depopulized or whatever, depopulated. One more. What is the population of Stanton, Virginia? In 2020, the population of Stanton was 25,750. It's Anyway, I completely forgot where I was going with that. Anyway, well, you know what? Because I don't want to, rest on negativity or whatever. I'm not even going to get into my problems with Stanton, because my problems with Stanton were from, you know, between, about 23 and, 40 years ago. So, uh, what's that Unfrozen song? Let it grow, let it glow. Uh, Let it glow, let it glow, let it glow like a glowworm. I'm coming in like a glowworm, baby. Getting out of focus. Getting out of focus. I'm just getting out of focus. Getting out of focus. I am fucking dumb. I am so fucking dumb. Never mind. Never mind. I'm stupid. I'm just, I'm just a big silly goose. I'm just a big fat silly goose with a flat caboose. I got the flattest fat ass you'll ever see. Not really. I have seen as flat as my ass is, and my ass is flat. My ass is like motherfucking pancakes with little blisters in them and shit. Um, but I have seen some ass that, you know, is like an innie. Uh, butt cheeks that just like go in like a what do you call it, a caldera. Best butt award goes to, I'm not telling. I'm not telling because I think you've all got nice butts. I like all of your butts. I love your butt the way that it is. Nice butt. Nice butt. So we've been filming for about an hour. I guess it's time to go out of here and take a shower. I don't know if nah, I already took a shower, but I don't know if I'm going to like release the original version of this. I still have that footage. It's, you know, what I did was the first night. I don't even know what to say about that look. Uh, the the first night was, a guy like this. It was the random as fuck awards. That's what we were remaking. That's what we were rebooting. Uh, and then the other two nights were just being completely random as fuck. No awards, just random as fuck. Um, well, maybe a few awards, but uh, it was like three and a half hours or something like each night that we filmed. So I haven't even really sifted through that footage, but I shot all of that on the GX85 before I bought this GH5. So I need stuff to film. Um, as I'm testing this, and I'm going out and shooting the B-roll footage and stuff too. If I didn't already release the vlog and haul whatever videos. Then they're coming. Either you're welcome or I'm sorry, or they're coming or something. I don't know. It'll be here eventually, Steve. Gall. Um, and I am planning, more music videos ahead now. I'm trying to find my copy of people. Well, my good copy. I've got a lesser, I guess, quality copy of People Under the Stairs on the computer already, but I've also got a Blu-ray copy somewhere, and I'm still searching for it because I want to do People Under the Stairs with body count, um, and then I also was as I was digging through my boxes, I found some. I'm looking for the picture. That's what I'm doing here. It's hard to do three things at twice, uh, but as I was going through those boxes, trying to find People Under the Stairs, I started finding some other stuff that like oh shit, I should do that. So after People Under the Stairs, I'm thinking Overlord. Then after Overlord, The Thing. Speaking of remakes, 1981. John Carpenter's The Thing, and then another remake. Right after that is the, was it like 1984 or 83, The Fly, and then right after that, Bram Stoker's Dracula, and then after that, it'll be about time for another intermission or whatever on the mixtape. So Beetlejuice is bugging out, you know? Have Beetlejuice bugging out. And I'm also planning to do some low light test footage with this camera out at my dad's house, hopefully soon. And I'm planning to do some gimbal test footage at some point, hopefully soon too. I find something worth filming. Maybe I'll just take the gimbal and put it on a pole or something and see if I can get it to like follow me around. That's one of the tests that I do want to do. Uh, but and we're still waiting on that Ulanzi like little fog. Was it the Ulanzi FM01? I think fog machine. Like it's one of those handheld portable fog maker things. So yeah, uh, we're gonna do a video for that. Maybe two. Um, See, I told you, baby. You know, I wasn't going nowhere. I fell off a little bit and, you know, kind of didn't film anything there for a little while as I was moving and getting kicked out of the old apartment and going into the hospital and then getting MRIs done and, you know, finding growth on my fucking ear bone or whatever you want to call it. Um, you know, but I thought I told you. We don't stop. Thought I told you. We don't stop. We just smoke a little bit more pot. Um, so, until the next one, babies, I love yous. And I will see you in that next one. Well, actually, I won't see you in the next one because, you know, I'm on this side of the camera. But you know, you'll see me, and I appreciate ye. Cheers. Bye. But let's try one with this. And then, you know, that's one of those things. It's just if you know, you know. Heavens to Mechatroid. I'm gonna put the fucking turtle on my head. Let's see if anybody fucking notices. Bug, 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 bug. We're called Whistle, and this is true. We love to do the things that we're not supposed to do. We don't mean robbing, stealing, or mugging. In fact, don't take us seriously. We're only bugging. Tell me, girl, not is it true that you'd love for me just to talk to you? Probably not.